so I thought I would do a Q&A today. This is kind of going to be like a mixture of like personal questions and recovery questions. I'm not going to answer a lot of recovery questions, but yeah, I have 7 screenshots worth of questions, so I'm not going to answer every single one because that'll be a long ass video. But yeah, let's get straight into it. I need to stop doing like butchering the Australian accent because there's Australian people who watch my videos and I'm really sorry. So first question is I can't read. First question is, when was your last relationship? How long did it last? And why did it end? I love you, by the way. Oh, I love you too. Even though I don't know you, I love you anyway. Honestly, my last proper relationship, like boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, it was when I was freaking 16 and I'm nearly 20. RIP. Who's surprised? Not me. But yeah, I'm 19, so the people who I date are like 18, 19, 20, 21. Like, it's just a bad age. At this age, there just doesn't seem to be any guys who want anything serious, and I'm not even over exaggerating. Like, I spoke to a lot of guys last year. That makes me sound like a little whore. You know, just like flirting, having a bit of fun, that kind of thing. Because, you know, like, I go out every weekend, like, you just meet people, but not one was nice enough to just be like, oh, I like you, let's have a normal relationship. Because that's just not what guys want at this age, apparently, you know? They just want to have the option of being able to see as many people as they want, and, like, yeah, so obviously not all of them. But yeah, having said that, I was seeing a couple people last year, obviously not at the same time. Thank you very much. They were all weenies who kind of just like led me on, didn't really want anything, only wanted the company, but like didn't tell me that, otherwise, you know, they knew I would have left. But yeah, there was one guy towards the end of the year, or it was last December. We were only together for like a couple weeks, and we weren't like together, we were just kind of like dating, like seeing each other. But he was really nice. He was like the only guy who wasn't an a-hole. Like, you know, he didn't lead me on. In the second he knew that he, you know, wasn't ready for anything, that he kind of needed to sort himself out first, he told me. He treated me really well. I'm still glad that, like, you know, we had a little thing, because I view dating very differently ever since being with him. And he kind of showed me how someone should treat me, as opposed to how the average 19, 20-year-old guy treats me, which is like shit on their shoe. Okay, I turned the light on, so that's a bit better because the sun has literally just set. This is a question I'm surprised I haven't got before, and I think it's a really good question. But someone said, how come you and your dad don't cook or eat together? Do you prefer eating alone? It's one of those things that I think that people think there's more meaning behind it than there actually is. Like, it's just personal preference. And yeah, my 3 siblings, who are all younger, live with my mum. There's no like meaning behind that as well. It's just, you know, they just would prefer to live with my mum because my dad works. Yeah, also, you know, my dad works, so he's not here very often. Well, he is, but it's like after dinner time. Like, it's throughout the day I see him and stuff, because he works like for himself, he's a builder. And yeah, we eat different things, and that is kind of, oh hi Bambi, I'm sorry, did I wake you? You're a little fat hamster, huh? I like hamsters. Also, we eat completely different. My dad is an unhealthy mofo. Like, he just eats fast food. I don't think he can remember the last time he ate a vegetable. Like, yeah, I do like to eat on my own. I will often bring my tea up and eat it here. But yeah, I don't prefer eating alone. Like, sometimes I will like sit down and eat with him if he's on the sofa or watching TV. Someone said, what's the worst thing you did in high school? I don't know. Honestly, nothing. I didn't really do anything bad in high school. Like, I was never a goody-goody, but I don't know, my friends were quite sensible. I was like sensible. I wasn't afraid of, you know, doing the wrong thing. Like, if I was to be in school now, I would be a naughty little shit. But that's just a confidence thing. Like, I think the only reason you're ever naughty or bad in school is if you're cocky, not confident. Although once when I was on a French trip to Paris, we passed this pick and mix stand. It was like in this mall, this shopping centre, and like right in the, like slap bang in the middle of this shopping centre, in between all these shops in this massive public place, there was this pick and mix stand. And then like to one of my friends I was like, oh hey, do you want like a sweet? And she was like, oh yeah, sure, like, you know, if you're getting a bag or like a bowl or whatever, you can put one in there for me. And she was like, oh, I'll have a Haribo egg. And I opened the little like plastic container that they were all in. I grabbed a Haribo egg and I ran. criminal mastermind. I was always like the loud one of our friends, and I still am, but I wasn't naughty back then. The same cannot be said for now. Okay, that's a lie. I'm not naughty deliberately. I just only follow rules if I agree with them. That's the stupidest thing I've ever said, but it's true. I'm just too open-minded for my own good, and I think the word is just eccentric. Like, I like to have fun. I'm never stupid, but I can be a little reckless. So yeah, in high school I wasn't that bad, but now, whoops. Someone said, do you want to move out? No, I do not. When I was 16 and I was with that guy, my last like proper relationship, we like were desperate to move out the second we were 18. We were like, oh, it's only 18 months away. And now my 18th birthday was over 18 months ago. And yeah, I'm glad I didn't move out, because I don't know, I feel like everyone goes through a stage where they really want to move out, but now I'm lucky that, you know, I have a roof over my head that I don't really have to pay for. And yeah, it's like hard moving out. It's probably the most difficult it ever has been, like in the history of ever, like having to afford your own place. Also, I live in Oxfordshire, which is the most expensive place in England to live. Or is it the UK? I think it might be the UK. Because sure, the houses are more expensive in London, but you get paid more in London, whereas in Oxfordshire you don't get paid more. So it works out to be more expensive to live in Oxfordshire. When I move out in a couple years probably, when I'm like 22, 21, 22, I mean, my 21st is only 18 months away. Like, I'm not moving out in 18 months. Sorry, Dad. But yeah, I couldn't move out on my own because it's too expensive. I would want to move away from Oxfordshire just because it's cheaper, you know, only like an hour or so away. But it just means I get to see more of places as well. I'm really sorry that this lighting is absolutely awful. I was supposed to film this earlier, but then I fell asleep. What else is new? And now it's 6 PM and it's sunset here in England. It's sunset. The sun has set. How long does weight distribution take? Okay, I have got this question a lot before, a lot about weight distribution. I don't know a lot about weight distribution just because it happened automatically for me. Like, I don't really know what the deal is. I don't know why it's such a big thing in recovery. I guess when people put on weight, it kind of goes onto one place specifically, you know, before their body, I guess, balances out, like before it gets spread around. But surely, like, the place that it went to would just, like, that would just be natural, like, you couldn't change that. I don't really understand a lot about weight distribution, so that's why I never answered the question. You know, whatever happened happened, and then it stuck because that was meant to be. Like, I put on a lot of weight in the last couple of years. Most of it has gone to my boobs, my hips, my thighs and my bum, because that is just kind of like what happened for me. I guess that's what weight distribution is. Like, my arms and my waist is absolutely tiny. So yeah, I don't really understand that, but I thought I would just put that in there because I get asked about it a lot, and I know it's something people have a problem with. Next time I film this late, I'm going to film in my music room because the lighting is a lot better in there. But yeah, I just changed the camera angle because hopefully that will make the lighting better. But guess what? It didn't. Yeah, I feel like actually that's a tiny bit better. There's a bit more light on my face. Oh, fudge. Someone said, how do you know when you have an eating disorder? Okay, this is weird. You shouldn't care whether or not you have a diagnosable eating disorder. If you are struggling the tiniest bit, and you will know if you're struggling because, you know, you'll be like, you won't be as happy as you used to be, you'll be having worries about foods, you'll be taking up behaviours that you don't feel is healthy, or at the very least, you know, you'll know that something's different, then, you know, even if you don't have a diagnosable eating disorder, which I didn't have for a long time, but like almost 5 years ago when I started having my problems with eating, doctors just didn't care because it wasn't enough to diagnose me with the few symptoms that I did have. But yeah, moral of the story, if you're struggling, you deserve like recovery, like you deserve to be happy. It doesn't matter if you don't have enough symptoms to have a diagnosis. You still need help if you feel like you're struggling. But yeah, so I'm guessing if you ask that question, you are struggling. But yeah, try not to get too caught up. Or if you are really stuck, and you don't know if you have any symptoms of an eating disorder, you can Google it, but obviously that's not like a solid piece of evidence. That's not solid information. Someone put, was food always on your mind?
It's not a single day goes by where you don't cross my mind.
Yes. Because I think people don't understand. Anorexia isn't like just not wanting to eat. It is an obsession with food. Like, it's an eating disorder. Like, I was fixated on food. I would cook all the time. I would like watch other people eat, you know, because it's a way of being around food without having to eat food, because obviously it makes a lot of sense now looking back. Like, I was starving not only my body of food but my mind. Like, you need food, so not only does your body kind of get a bit confused when it doesn't have it, but also your mind, so it kind of tries to make up for that by, you know, having an obsession with food. It's like your brain's version of being hungry. When you're starving, your body, you know, your stomach rumbles, when you're, you know, but your brain makes you obsessed with food. So I would Google pictures of food, and yeah, I was just always thinking about food constantly. And that is why someone put, during your eating disorder, did you get depressed? Yes, not like, I hate saying like, oh, I feel so depressed, you know, when actually it's not clinical depression. Lots of people just kind of throw that emotion around there as if depression and sadness are the same thing. They're not. But yeah, I was very, very low at the very end of my illness, when I was really ill, because I was denying myself food so much that my life was just boring. Like, without food, life really is boring, because food is great and, you know, you need food. Like, it's a survival instinct. You can't turn that off. You know, there's a reason it took me like 2.5 years of trying to lose weight to actually get to a tiny size, like, because it's just not normal and it's not natural to stop eating. Someone said, are you single? Kind of like answered that in the first question, but yes, I am. But yeah, I joined Tinder yesterday for like the 3rd time. In the last like year, I've been on it like 3 times. I've met people each time, and I still talk to those people, but they're literally just like acquaintances. Like, I don't even have a lot of respect for them, because they're just kind of, that sounds mean, I have respect for everyone, but apart from Donald Trump, they're just like, the annoying thing is that they lead me on without even knowing that they're doing it. Like, sorry to think that someone I met on Tinder who I was speaking to for 6 months would want something more than like flirting back and forth for 6 months. But yeah, that's all people want, so I don't think anything will come from it. But I feel like, you know, since that guy, I'd kind of had enough. So for the last couple months, I wasn't even looking at guys. I was just like, don't even care. And yeah, I just feel a bit better about it now, you know. And my friends getting into new relationships. It just made me feel that, you know, made me think, you know, like, I don't want to hide anymore. I'm not like afraid of getting hurt, because, you know, I know to protect myself. I know not to take SHIT from people. Why did I just spell that swear word out? I always swear. Someone said, how much did you weigh? I'm not going to tell you how much I weighed at my smallest, but I will say, and I've said this before, that I put on, so I was at my lowest weight 2 years and 2 months ago. In that time, I have put on just under like 4 pounds under, or like 5, like, I think just over 3.5 stone, so under 4 stone, but like just. So yeah, go me. Have you ever been bullied or had things said to you that hurt, and if so, how did you deal? I'm lucky that I was never bullied. Like, obviously during high school, like, there's always, you know, idiots that kind of say things to you every now and then, and I was like really sensitive back then. Like, it really got to me. Even if someone would just say like one thing and I never saw them again, I would literally go home and cry. But obviously, so this account has like over 3,500 subscribers. My Instagram has nearly 11,000 followers. Like, I have, and you know, it's about anorexia recovery. You know, I talk very openly about like sensitive topics. I'm never controversial, but you know, you can't please everyone. So yeah, I've had rude things, and they just don't hurt me anymore. I don't get upset on a personal level, because the stuff that people say to me is absolutely disgusting. Like, I reckon it happens like once every couple months I'll get a really bad comment, and then sometimes I just get like stupid comments, but it's not very often. And I'm grateful that, you know, people are nice. Also, I am so like, you know, treat everyone how you want to be treated, be nice. Like, it would take a lot for me to be rude to someone, and even then I would still feel bad that I upset them. So I know that if someone is rude, they are clearly so upset in themselves. Like, you've got to be in a really bad place to be rude to someone, let alone on the internet. Like, I know everyone says it, like, they feel that, you know, they say they feel sorry to the people that, like, hate on them, but it's true. Like, I get it now. Like, the people that send me those messages, I'm like, I can't imagine being that sad in my life that I send a rude comment to someone that I don't even know, especially when it's something as sensitive as, you know, the topic of an eating disorder. And honestly, it's got to the point where I just laugh about it, because I'm like, it doesn't upset me at all, and that makes me feel really happy, you know, that I'm like that confident now. But you've just got to see it for what it is. Like, it, you know, it's not an opinion, it's a fact that those people are horrible people for saying that stuff. Like, so why would I care? Also, those people that don't know me at all. So yeah, not bullying, but yes, like hate comments, and I still get them. And 99% of the time, you know, it's people who have a lack of understanding and narrow-mindedness, which is just the worst thing. Like, I would hate to be narrow-minded, or, you know, just to be that oblivious and stupid. But yeah, I was at a bar the other day with my friends, and this comment popped up on my phone, and I actually couldn't find the comment once I opened my social media, so they'd obviously deleted it. Probably, you know, because they were scared that I was gonna, like, reply. But it just goes, "You're too fat to be anorexic." I was like, that's not a thing. You can't be too fat to be anorexic. A, I'm slim. B, you can't be too fat to be anorexic. Like, it's called a mental illness because it's a mental illness, not a physical one. The bloody name is there in the title. Are you stupid? Fat is not a bad thing, and, you know, this person obviously thought that being fat was a bad thing. To be like, you're too fat to be anorexic. So yeah, the lack of education there, the narrow-mindedness, the rudeness, and like the stupidness and the obliviousness behind that comment just made me laugh. Like, it doesn't upset me anymore. So yeah, that was quite funny. But my friend was like, how does that not make you cry? Like, if someone said that to me, I would be like, where? And I was like, I don't know, you know, you just get used to it. And I was like, yeah, but think about it logically. Like, this person is wrong. They clearly know nothing about me, nothing about what they're talking about. They're clearly very uneducated in the field of eating disorders. And also, like, even if they were right somehow, like, the fact that they've been rude completely disregards, like, you know, what they're saying. So yeah, not bullying, but I mean, that's a form of bullying, you know. But yeah, it doesn't upset me anymore, which I'm very thankful for. Can you tell that my phone just died and I just went to, like, get my charger, because now I left my door open, but I can't be bothered to move it because I'm lazy. Someone said best advice I've ever been given. Okay, once I was crying over this breakup, and my dad came in, and he's not, you know, he's like a lad's lad. He's not the kind of person to, you know, get in touch with his feelings very much. But, you know, he is a good dad, so, like, you know, when he has to, he will give me, he'll try and give me advice, you know, but, like, I know I can talk to him and stuff. But yeah, he came in, and I was crying. He was like, what's wrong? And I was like, oh, it's this weenie guy who I just broke up with. And he, like, knew this guy. I'd been dating him for, like, 8 months. He was just like, yeah, but it doesn't really matter, though, does it? Like, as if to say, like, you know, it's chill, it's all good, like, life goes on, you're gonna be fine. And I could tell that he wasn't, you know, he probably didn't think that was very good advice, and he was just kind of, you know, saying whatever came to mind, just trying to help the situation. He probably didn't know what he was doing, but after a couple of times of him saying that, something just kind of clicked to me, and I was like, actually, you know what, you're right, I'm gonna be fine. Like, I mean, heck, this time, like, you know, in a couple months, I probably won't be upset about this anymore. But, like, yes, at the time, it felt like my life was over. So I just tell myself that every time I'm going through something that seems really big. Also, my mum once said to me, I think I've said this a couple times on this channel, but she was like, I was worrying one day, like, I have anxiety, and it used to be really bad to the point where I would just worry every single second of every day about stuff that probably wasn't even true. One day she turned to me and she was just like, you know what, if you don't have the facts to something, don't worry about it, because you could be worrying for no reason. You could be worrying about something that isn't even true, you know? So unless you know something for sure, don't worry about it, which I think is also very good advice.